Hey there, welcome back to another Midweek. My name is Brighton, joined this week with Pastor Rob. Hey.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yep. Pastor Rob just gave this past Sunday's message. We're still in the Back to Biblical Basics series, and this week we talked about spending.
Yeah.
So spending our money.
I'm good at it.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Really I'm not too bad at it either. When you have expensive hobbies, spending
right.
money is...
Who knew?
Pretty easy, yeah. So one of the things that you started off your message talking about was how much Jesus talked scripturally about money and money, possessions, stewardship. You said it's about 1/6 of the things that Jesus talked about,
right?
Which is a considerable amount.
Yeah.
So why is it important for us to recognize that Jesus talked about money so much?
One of the beautiful things about Jesus' teachings is like he could speak theological circles around anybody, right? But he doesn't. He brings it down to a place where we can all understand. That's why he uses a lot of farming, things.
Yeah.
Just money is something that every person has in common. Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, life works based around currency.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it's something that Jesus could teach on that we all understand. Like we all understand where a majority of my spending goes. That's probably something that I really care about and that's important to me. And so when he talks about where your treasure is, there also is your heart. It's just a way to think about what's important to me? Where am I spending my cash? And the thing is, sometimes you'll go years and it's all pretty much the same, and then something can happen or whatever, and your spending can start to change a little bit. But I think the reason that there's over 2,000 verses, that 30 to 40% of his parables are based on that, is because as you look at it, it is just kind of reflective of you and what's important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one of the things, one of the scriptures that you talked about in Matthew chapter 6 was that no one can serve two masters.
Right.
And most of the time, money is the biggest temptation to be that other master.
Yeah.
But God talked about money, and he knows that it can be used for his glory.
Right.
So I guess my question is, how do we resist money being the other master? How do we use something that God wants us to use for him but not have lordship under money?
Yeah. And that goes to that one point I said, like, a lot of times we feel like we have money.
Yeah.
But money has us.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's because money makes the world go around. And so, it comes back to, what do you have faith in? Do you have faith that God and his promises are true?
Yeah.
And it's really easy when things are going well and you're in the black and everything is great, to be like, yeah, God is so good. He's doing this. But when life hits and maybe the financial wheels fall off, that's when we tend to forget about God's promises, where God promises that I'm never going to leave you or forsake you, that I'm always going to provide for you, right? Even Abraham, several times God says, I'm going to create out of you, your descendants will far outnumber the stars, all these things. He gets all these promises. And when time gets difficult or he's going into an unsure situation, whether it's going through Egypt or wherever, he takes it into his own hands and he forgets God's promises and he just starts to do things on his own. And so that's what can happen with our money. But that's the beautiful thing about money. It's not good, it's not bad. It's just reflective. And so it's just kind of like a spiritual diagnostic. Where's your faith at? Are you in a mindset of just faith and God's going to provide? Even if it's only my daily bread, he's going to provide. He's going to take care of me. Or are you serving mammon or money where it's just like, I'm in the scarcity mindset. I have to get this. I have to get this. If I don't have this much in my 401k, if I don't have this much in my bank account, then my whole life is upset and stressful. And then I think part of it is being able to realize that whether you have a lot or a little, you can still be content. Yeah. Right? Like some of my most favorite memories that I have with Crystal are when we were newlyweds. Not the first year, second year. First year was rough. But that second year where like our dates literally were like a frozen popsicle on the porch, just people watching in our neighborhood and talking about things. And it was amazing. It was just, and that's always stuck with me, because even when we had a lot, now the place that we're content with what we have, it's always stuck with me that like materialistic possessions aren't what's going to give my life value. It's not what's going to give my life worth. My relationship with Christ, first and foremost, my relationship with my wife and my kids, second, and then just being able to enjoy God's creation. Like that's, to me, what life is all about.
Yeah. One of the points that you said in your message was that money isn't neutral.
Right.
And that it's reflective.
Right.
And to me, a reflection makes it neutral. So like if someone has money and they're using it for good, then money is good and you're using it as a tool. If someone else takes money and they have intention to use it for bad or selfishness, then the money.
Right.
So how is it neutral then?
The mirror's not ugly. It's the person looking into the mirror that's ugly.
Oh.
Is that No, I would say that the reflection.
Well, then the money's always good whenever I'm looking at it, right?
Yeah. I would say, yeah, that's funny. The mirror's not ugly. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's my problem. I have ugly mirrors. I think, yes, like what I was saying, money's not good. It's not bad, but it's not necessarily neutral either, because it shows you what's important to you. To just go through and be like, money's money and that's it. That's not true. Like money has like, not consequences, but it has significance, because how you spend your money, how you curate your money, how you steward it, all shows a little bit about you and your heart and just kind of your mentality around it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not the person taking the money. It's more the output
right. It's how you use it, because money's a tool. And so how you use that tool is going to be reflective of what you believe in, what's important to you, maybe some things that you're hoping for, aspiring for, whatever it is. It's just a tool to get what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other things that you said, so we're talking about spending and having a Christian foundation on our spending. And I think most of the time it is tempting to think, oh, God just wants my money back. I work so hard for my money. God is taking money away from me. And you said that God doesn't teach us about money because he wants something from us.
Right.
But that he teaches it because he wants something for us.
Right.
So how do we get into that mind shift of, oh, God's taking some of my money that I worked for, versus, oh, God is teaching me and I am submitting to God because God wants something for me. Yeah.
For me, it's realizing that, like, I've often heard it say, God can do more with 90% than you can do with 100%. And I get that. But in reality, 100% of what we have belongs to God. Like, we are just managers. We steward it, and hopefully we do it well. But the thing that shifted for me, and why I strongly believe in tithe, and I teach all the students to tithe and all that stuff, is because it's not so much about God needs our finances or our resources. That's not it. We, as a church, need it, because that's what allows us to do programming and keep the lights on and make it warm and all this other stuff. But God doesn't need our money, right? But God does need our heart. And so it's an act of worship. And if I'm giving 10%, I'm like, I can't believe I have to write this check again. God doesn't want that. That's not an act of worship. That's legalistic. But if I'm giving out a place of like, man, God, I'm so grateful what you've done for me and just my whole life here, and here's a little bit back. And often what I've learned is 10% for us has been the baseline, but then just my love for God and my excitement leads me to give offerings above and beyond the tithe, because it's not just to the local church, but then I'm starting to support missionaries, and I'm starting to sponsor kids, and I'm starting to do all these other things. And because when I realize that 100% of what I have belongs to God, and I'm just so grateful, because I have a great life. I'm not saying that I'm rolling. But I have a great life, and I have a great wife and great kids and great community. And so because of that, man, I just want to worship God with more than just, no offense, Pastor Nate, but just singing or just serving or just like everything that I have. Yeah. I just want to worship God with.
Yeah. That's so good. One of the things, maybe you relate with this as well, but when I'm thinking about Christian spending, budgeting usually comes into my mind of, okay, so I'm giving some percentage to God, and then I'm left with a remainder amount.
Right.
God wants me to like still use that amount to glorify him as well. And so then it becomes, okay, here are the boxes that I'm spending. But you also brought in contentment in your message as well. And that gets rid of comparison, consumerism, getting wrapped up in keeping up with your neighbors and all that. So how does that come into play with Christian spending as well?
Yeah, I think if your heart posture is always being content with what you have, whether you have a lot or whether you have a little, like Paul said, then it's much easier to kind of see is how I'm spending my money, is it showing faithfulness to God and as an act of worship, or is it showing like I'm gonna do things on my own? There's nothing wrong with wanting nice stuff. You should definitely want nice things, work hard to get them, all those things. Nothing wrong with that. But if your whole purpose starts to become, I want to do this, and I want to keep up with the Joneses, and I want the nicest this and the nicest this, and it starts to make you feel good about yourself and about the life you're providing for your family, then that's an indication that something's off in your understanding of what money's supposed to do.
Yeah.
For myself, I had to realize that being able to provide the nicest things for my family wasn't necessarily what honored God the most. And I was funneling my money and stewarding it in a way that was all inward focused for me and for my family. And it wasn't outward focused at all. Like if our whole life is an act of worship, then how I was handling that portion of my life actually showed, like, I always say God's Lord of all or not at all. And because he wasn't Lord over my finances, it's like, man, it made me question, do I really believe what the Bible teaches on everything, or is it is this section, or am I holding that? So for me, the big shift was understanding that if everything is worship, every action that I do is an act of worship, which it is, then how I spend my money, and not just that, the motivation behind why I spend it is more telling and more reflective of what's important to me.
Yeah, one of the things that you said right towards the end of your message is that a biblical foundation of spending isn't about spending less.
Right.
Which maybe for some people, that may be included in spending less.
Yeah.
But it may also mean spending more.
Right.
To glorify God. And you said it is about spending intentionally.
Yeah. Most divorces happen because of money fights or disagreements on how to use money and things like that, and it just starts to kind of get the snowball rolling. If you talk to anyone about budgeting, unless they're kind of like those Dave Ramsey like nerd people that just love numbers and love to do it, they all think, oh great, budgeting, here we go. And so financial conversations are difficult to have because everyone has this preconceived notion that it's going to be, well, I need to spend less, I need to do this, I can't go to Starbucks, I can't go to Dunkin', I can't, whatever it is. And that's not necessarily the truth. What it means is that you're being intentional with how you spend your money, and then you're saying, okay, these are my have to haves, these are my would like to haves, and these are areas that I want to spend to glorify God, to push further the kingdom, to do discipleship with my kids and show them like money's fine, it's a tool, but you can do all these other things with it. So it's not always about restriction and budgeting. A lot of time, and that's what God wants. God doesn't teach us or talk about money because he wants something from us. It's for us. It's the abundant life.
Right.
He doesn't want money to have us. He wants us to utilize money in a way that is just indicative that he has our heart. And because of that, we're going to live differently. We're going to spend differently. And the great thing is this, if you do money, this is what I've learned. If you do money God's way, then when a financial emergency happens, there's no stress. Like God has given you this peace because now you're living in a way where you're building up savings and you're planning for those things that are going to happen. If I know that my Jeep is going to need new wheels here within a year, I can, all right, that's going to cost around whatever it is, and start to work backwards and start to be intentional with how I spend my money, so that I don't have to go into debt. So that, because the Bible talks about not being a slave to the lender. The Bible talks about not asking people to co-sign, like all those things. And man, when I was younger, I was just doing what I was doing. But as soon as you start to do money God's way and you're intentional with it, it's just amazing that like you start to experience freedom and peace in an area that is very destructive for a lot of marriages and a lot of people, and just it's pulse increasing for a lot of people.
Wow. Yeah, that's really great encouragement.
Yeah.
So thanks, Pastor Rob, for being here with us.
Yep.
Talking a little bit more about money.
No problem.
Yeah. And thanks to you for being here with us. Hopefully that was a great encouragement to you as well. We have one more week here of Back to Biblical Basics next week, talking about giving. So stay tuned with us and have a great rest of your week.